I always get the first wave.
Pretty much, it brought me to tears. Like, the wave was so good.
That's the biggest drop I've ever taken in my life.
And so right there, I told myself I needed to just relax and stay calm, that I'm stronger than this.
You're one of the most legendary big wave surfers we have in the sport. Because people think it's a burger, right? Like that whole thing of like Nazare is a burger and this and that. Like, I want you to explain.
Yeah,
it looks like one, but what I tell people is I go, when that thing breaks and burgers, the thing where it breaks is already 60 feet. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's not much burgering down. It's like a 60-foot wave that breaks and then pushes down, you know, but what if trying to explain to people, even surfers that actually know what they're talking about, that still comment and go, it's a burger or this and that.
No. It's like hey, I gotta admit, it is mostly the majority of waves are burgers. But then there's these ones that are not fucking burgers. The one that Kai Lenny got, tell me that's a burger, man. Tell me that's a burger. That's not a burger, man.
The Kai Lenny is the perfect example when that one wedges up and goes right. So
yeah, Kai said that too. He goes, the majority are burgers, right? And it looks burgers. But it's the movement of water. It's a different wave, right? It's just so much water and so much energy and with so much speed that it's just it's an awesome thing. It's like, you know what? I'll ride that burger any day because it's a different, you know what I mean?
You haven't seen anything like the water on the inside. Like, you're punching 20-foot white waters, and as you're coming down, there's a 20-foot wave coming sideways, and then there's one coming from the other, and you're like, where do I go? Where do I go? I've got nowhere to go, you know? It's crazy.
Boxed in. Like the ski, like driving the ski is another...
Scarier than it's
scarier than surfing, I reckon. It's just that, I mean, touch wood, I've never flipped one, but man, it is fucking... Oh, it's hectic. It's just the best word for it is hectic. It's like you said, there's waves going everywhere, and there's like gritty sand on the inside, and it'll fuck your impeller, and like, wow. It's, I miss that too, you know, like, fuck. Just driving the ski in that shit's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. What's, you had that really bad wipeout there where you went up on the rocks. Just give us a rundown on that. That looks sort of like...
You know what's funny? It's like, it wasn't even that bad a wipeout. Like, it's the days that...
It was the position where you fell.
No. I actually jumped off, right? I jumped off the wave. Like it was one of the last waves of the season. I'd had my biggest wave in my life in January 18 of that year. One of the best waves I've ever got, Nazare for sure, and like a right-hander. And then like we're a bit all complacent last swell. We're like fooling around. Like it wasn't that big. It's like whatever. And I was with Carlos Burley, and I was like, I'll go right. And I was way down the beach, nowhere near the rocks. And like
really?
I sort of, it was my first wave, and I was like, fuck. I sort of just jumped off because I was too deep. I'm like, whatever. You know, I sort of mistimed the turn a bit. And I just jumped off, and then I was dragged underwater for about 300 metres towards the rocks. Because I didn't pull my vest, right? But the airlift, I should have pulled it right away. Because if I probably pulled it, I would have got washed to the beach. And I just didn't feel the need. Because it was like a conveyor belt. Because it was so small, it was smaller. The water was trying to drag you out through the rocks and escape through the closer to the cliff. And I eventually pulled it because I was under for quite a bit. I'm like, fuck, okay, I'm under. I should pull it. I pulled it, and I surfaced almost against the cliff. And I was like, what? How did I end up here? You know? And then I was like, okay, I got to cruise now. This is critical. I've never been here before. Like, no one's ever been there before. In that area. And I thought, okay, this is new territory, but I've got my airlift on. I'll be fine. Right? I was all puffed up.
Big puffer.
big puffer fish, and I was just like, I got slammed against that rock, and went over it, right? And I was like, you know, I was like inflatable breasts that just sort of, you know, and it cushioned me from the blow, and I went over the falls on between the rocks. And you know what? I'm like, wow, that was a bit weird. Like, okay. And I'm going, and then I kept getting washed back out and then slammed back in. And I was like, I can't get out of here, you know, this is heavy. And like another critical thing, I didn't do my strap up of right? And the airlift was just like coming over me and nearly drowning me. And like, that was more critical than anything, you know, more crucial. And then this went on for 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's just like, that's funny how the energy sucked that way, like across and into the rocks.
Yeah.
And when it was smaller.
I think it was because it was smaller, the rip was just moving that, you know, the water needed to escape that way. And it was the direction of the swell or something. And I was very lucky. I was like, I banged my head, but I had a hood on. It was a bit of rubber. And I was like corked my thighs, like because it pushed me into the rock and I just went over it. But other than that, I was fine. You know, I was like, it was just like
other than that, I was fine.
No, it was just like Terrigal. It was like Terrigal when I was a kid. Like Terrigal Haven has got tube rock. Like we just used to get behind the rocks.
Yeah.
And the waves used to go over you. I mean, I'm sure you've done it. All Australian kids have done it. Like they get behind the swell and it's like tube. You get tubed, right? So I a flashback to that. I'm just going to sit behind the rock. It'll be fine, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I was like this is okay. It looked so critical that, you know, it made the headlines everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going, because when I felt it, I'm going, it's not that, wasn't that big a deal. But when I looked at the footage, I'm like, fuck me, that's heavy, you know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, eventually it was like a pinball and then it goes down the hole and I got out. Yeah. And then I had to climb up the cliff. Like I was sliding back down the cliff. That was the worst thing. I was like, no, I'm going to fucking die here on the cliff. Oh, my God. And then I got up and I had spit all over my face. I was all white and going, oh, fuck. Because the thing about it, I hadn't had a coffee yet. It was the first wave. The first wave, I went through all that shit. I'm going, fucking hell. I'm done. That's it for my season, you know?
Yeah, I'm done. It's a sign.
Yeah. I've got away with, you know, the funny thing, ironically, I didn't pull the vest all season and there was a lot of big swells. Yeah. I hadn't got wiped out the whole season. I didn't get on the inside. I didn't get touched. I had dry hair almost. Crazy. But that just fucking boom.